As a native Detroiter, how come you didn't shoot Hoffa's death in the Marcus Red Fox parking lot?
Yeah, it was boring. That parking lot was boring.
Oh, yeah?
People think he was killed in certain places, and nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? And I figured, like, the way he dealt with the end of Hoffa was like, really beautiful, magical way. And David Mamet wrote the script, and it was much more interesting out in the cornfield.
It's a great movie.
Thank you.
Everyone in Michigan wants to know where Marcus got stuffed.
We got it. Like I said, architecturally, that's it.
So, what's Frank up to in season?
Season 7 is like really off the charts. I think we went, we went a little farther than we ever went before. I think season 7 is like a little wild. I just got my hair cut because my hair was in season 7. It's like, you're going to love it in season 7. But the idea is that, what's so much fun is that Basic will do anything. I'll do almost anything that they say. When they do it, they come up with the ideas to take those avenues. And I usually just turn up the burners a little bit. Make it a little bit more exciting.
Right.
Because the whole idea for Frank is that he wants to relive. He wants to live, not relive. He wants to live. Really, the past is the past. Now is now. And boy, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You walk around the corner and get hit by a bus. You better have a good time right now, baby. And have a lot of fun. As long as you're not hurting anybody. Just having a good time. And that's all Frank wants to do is like experience. And this year, there's quite a few good experiences. I'm looking forward to next year.
You get a hooker wife this season?
Well, the whore. How she makes her money is her business. She's a whore. I know her as a really juicy whore. I'm talking about juicy. My whore is juicy. I like it better when she doesn't bathe for a couple of days. Thank you. I like to really. I'm a guy who likes Limburger cheese. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Okay.
So it sounds like you were a fan of the show before you came involved with it. What was it that drew you to it?
6 years.
Right.
And the first season was the first season. I didn't know what the hell it was. And John Landgraf at FX, worked with me at Jersey Television. And he was the one who took a chance on these guys. And when we all saw the shows, the first few shows, I really loved them. I thought they were really a lot of fun. Energy. I didn't think of being part of the show at that time. It wasn't until after they called and said, would you be interested in meeting them? And I said, absolutely. And a lot of people say, don't go back on television, don't do this, don't do that. Everybody tells you, don't.
Right.
That's the way everything is in life, wherever you go. From the time you're a kid to the time they put you in a box. Everybody's saying, no, don't do that, watch out, be careful, do this. I want to have fun. And it was at a time in my life, Danny's life, when I've done a lot of movies, I've produced a lot of movies, I've directed a lot of movies. I've been on television already. I loved it. The Taxi was great. And if they came up with a character that was organic and it wasn't just a tagged on thing, I said, yeah, I'll be interested. And it turned out that they're really great writers and they're funny people and they're open for pretty much anything. And they go with the flow. Charlie and Glenn and Rob are really truly guys who write from this kind of visceral. They don't hold back. and stuff. And there's good writers, really good writers. I've worked with the best writers in television and in the movies.
You're a great writer yourself. War of the Roses is really profound. You have
War of
another
the Story. I worked with Michael Leeson on that and Jim Gross. I directed that, and I did contribute to it, like a collaborative kind of thing. I just tell you, I recognize, I think it's like I'm with a great bunch right now, and I could do this show forever.
You mentioned producing.
Yes.
Did you know Pulp Fiction would have the reaction it did when you made it?
I knew that I loved the screenplay when I read it, and I tried desperately to get it made at TriStar where I had my deal, but they wouldn't do it. And the reason they wouldn't do it is because they thought it was too violent. I read the movie and thought it was a comedy. And I said, well, it's violent, but it's a comedy. And they wouldn't do it. And so I brought it to Harvey, and Harvey's been sending me flowers because he made all the money on the movie, basically. Yeah, but Stacy Scher and Michael Schamberg were with me as partners in that. Stacy knew Quentin. She introduced me to Quentin. I met Quentin and I said, I know I can't have Reservoir Dogs because it's already being done. I want your next movie, I don't care what it is. And that was Pulp Fiction. So I was intuitive about him, and I was very fortunate that it turned out that he has the goods.
And to this day, do you wish you directed it, or would you?
Oh no, that was him all the way. No, that was not. It wasn't even a question that I was going to direct it. See, that was the whole idea of my deal. My deal at Sony and TriStar was not a vanity deal. And people make vanity deals all the time, where they do everything they do is going to be about them. It's like called vanity deal. It's like you're going to be in the movies, you're going to direct the movies. That wasn't my deal. I wanted to work with other filmmakers. That's my, I worked with, like Steven Soderbergh wasn't doing anything when I hired him for Out of Sight.
Yeah, you recruited him.
I reached out for him. He was like, he had done a couple of movies, but I thought he was really terrific. And actually Brian De Palma recommended him. And I hadn't seen Kafka and whatever. I saw Sex Lies and Videos, but that was years ago. And I said, yeah, man, this guy's good. So that's the kind of deal I have.
Well, thank you very much.